Are we going to be able to start?
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right. You usually don't all rise. We're supposed to do roll call first, yeah. All right, welcome everyone. Raul scares again.
We know who's in control.
He's usually saying all rise as the judge, but anyway, y'all can have a seat for just a few seconds, sorry. One day, we're getting it. We're working, we're fine tuning some things.
Always get arrested.
Okay, welcome everyone. This is, today is April 28th, 2025. This is your 10 a.m. regular edition of Lavaca County Commissioners Court. And we will start with confirmation roll call. Precinct 1.
Here.
Precinct 2.
Here.
Precinct 3.
Present.
Precinct 4.
Present.
And the judge is here, so let the record reflect that all 5 of us are here, present, and accounted for. And with that, we will now stand for our invocation and our pledges. We have a certain order of things, Raul. Sorry.
I got you.
All right. Yes, sir. In the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen. Dear Lord, thank you for this glorious day in Lavaca County. Thank you for the rains that we received last week and the rains that are to come. Lord, we're just so thankful that you've given us life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Bless these leaders, each and every one of us at the bench and around the table, collectively what we call Lavaca County. Bless us all as we make decisions for the betterment of all people in Lavaca County. And just help us make the right decisions, Lord. And we ask all these things in your name. Amen. Amen. Now our pledges. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor and protect this flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. All right, everybody. Thank you. Thank you. All right. I hate to tell this to everyone, but we have a closed session right off the bat. We have an attorney that's waiting for us here in the back that we need to speak with. So, do we have any announcements before we get started in that route? The only announcement I have to make is this court, we called a special session for this afternoon at 1 o'clock. There will be no decisions made. It's just we're going to kick off the GLO grant that we received. I think it's about $2.9 million. Finally, it's been a long time coming, getting to contract form, so now we can discuss it. So that we have a kickoff meeting with our grant administrator this afternoon at 1. Again, it's about roads and that sort of nature and how we're going to get those roads done. But anyway, that's going to take place at 1 o'clock. So if anyone wants to join, fine. I don't think are we live streaming that? No, it will not be live streamed. It's just we're calling it a workshop, but it is at 1 o'clock. Any other announcements? Hearing none, we will move into item number 2. Do we have a motion to move into closed session?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Okay, motion made by precinct 3, second by precinct 4 to move into closed session. All those in favor of moving into closed session per section 551.071 to have a consultation with our attorney, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. That motion passes. We are in executive session. The time is 10:04. I'm going to ask Ms. Shane Opiella, Mr. We are out of executive session. The time now is 10:42. Thanks to everyone for their patience. This day and age, when you're working around schedules and attorney schedules, it's tough to coordinate everybody, so appreciate y'all, everyone's patience with us. All right, I'm now still getting set up here. Let's see. So, and we're going to do some rearranging of the schedule. We have a 10:45 special deal for Ms. Rogers, but we'll wait till 10:45. Is that correct? Or not?
She will only be coming, so.
Okay.
She will only be coming.
Is she here? Is she not here? No. Okay, all right. Okay, so closed session is done. Item number 3, EMS update from the EMS director. Are you ready?
All right. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
It's been just a little bit since I've given EMS update, so Chief Decker and I sat down the other day and
If you would state your name for the court, just for the record, please.
Sure, my name is Michael Furr. I'm the EMS director,
Thank you.
Lavaca County. EMS update for this week. So first and foremost, we'll talk about training. We have trained quite a bit thanks to Captain Tollett's been doing a real good job coordinating. This first quarter, we have trained 225 people in CPR and first aid. That's quite a big number. And regionally, we're trying to, we've had this push with CPR and Stop the Bleed over the last year or so, and each county or each department is actually kind of trying to outdo each other. So we're knocking out, not only in Lavaca County, but in our region, quite a bit of CPR and first aid training. We've trained 169 people in Stop the Bleed and 36 people in Narcan administration. Most of those Narcan administration trainings were done to local law enforcement after actually Captain Tollett received a grant from UT Health Science Center out of San Antonio for the Narcan. So there was no money that exchanged hands. We filled out a application and they sent it to us. And then once we got it in, we distributed it to all local law enforcement, sheriff's office, and all the police departments as well. And we do have a little bit of back stock as well in case they do deploy some in the field. We can go back and replace them. Let's see. We have had 3 of our older retired ambulances that have been sitting out back behind the station, and one of them a transmission went out on, and it was going to cost anywhere from $13,000 to $15,000 to put a transmission back into this truck. We decided to put it up for sale, and surprisingly, each ambulance, including the one with the broken transmission, brought over $30,000 on gov deals. So we were able to get in close to $100,000 off of that. We had, for anybody who's followed us, I know the paper had called and asked me a couple questions about it as well, and on social media. We participate in a program called EMTF, which is Emergency Medical Task Force. It's a statewide program that's broken down into different regions, and we belong, here in Lavaca, we belong in our region out of San Antonio. What the Emergency Medical Task Force is designed to do is it takes resources from anybody who wants to participate from their department, if they're able to do so at that specific time, and then distributes those assets to anywhere in the state where there may be a natural disaster going on. Just so happened to be, I think it was about a month and a half ago, I was down in McAllen on an unrelated event. On my way back, it started to rain, and it didn't stop raining down there for about 4 or 5 days, which rendered about 6 of their ambulances, from what I understand, in San Benito and Cameron County, and Harlingen, that area, which rendered about 6 of their ambulances unable to respond to calls because they suffered water damage. So the majority of their fleet that they used to provide the same services we provide here was down. So EMTF was activated. We sent one ambulance. To Cameron County, which ultimately, from the strike team leader, got put in San Benito. In San Benito, we responded to well over about 100 911 calls or so in that area, and transported numerous patients locally there for about 2.5, almost 3 weeks. So about the week mark, we sent one of our supervisors' vehicles with relief team down there. So they relieved the team there in Harlingen, and they came back. And so we have our trucks back. We have our people back now. I believe that ended about 3 weeks ago. The cool thing about that is a couple different things. One, I specifically received an email from the strike team leader the first week that they were there. Him and I know each other through emails and by passing. We just don't really know each other. He was the strike team leader in Beryl when we deployed to Houston to help out that region when Hurricane Beryl came through, and he sent me an email about 6:30, 7 o'clock one night, and just basically, to summarize, it says, you know, we really appreciate working with your crews. Your crews know their job. They're professional. They're always willing to do more than what's assigned to them, and that was a cool email to get that was totally unsolicited and should be explained to the court about that crew that was down there and how good a job they did to represent us while we're down there. And lastly, with the EMTF program is that it gives us an opportunity to bring a little income in as well to our department. EMTF, the state reimburses Lavaca County EMS for their personnel while they're gone and the backfill of those personnel. So if their shifts are open and we have to fill them with people on overtime, the state pays for that as well. They also pay for our equipment by hour, which is about $60 an hour the entire time that it's deployed. So that enabled us to say around $150,000 over this past year with the few deployments that we've been on that we've been able to make back. It does take a little bit of time though. There's a lot of paperwork. Chief Decker's getting really good at it. But you submit the paperwork and then the Department of State Health Services goes through it with a fine-tooth comb and then sends you a check. So it could take 6 weeks, it could take 5 months, but that reimbursement does come back to us. And lastly, we're seeing an increase of call volume. People ask me all the time, what can you attest to this call volume? The only thing that I can really attest to, and my theory is I really think that more and more people are moving to our area without us really realizing it and understanding it. You know, I have a different opportunity to see Colorado County as well, and their permits building and their 911 addressing is in the same building that my office is in there, and it is all day, every day, new 911 address, new 911 address, new permit, new septic permit. And so people are moving here, I think. You know, that's what I can attest to it. And, you know, with that increase in call volume, I looked it up just a little while ago just for people to understand that an average over all of our calls for this year so far, from January 1 to now, every time that ambulance is activated, it's on that call, assigned to that call for an average of 1 hour and 7 minutes. So it's not just a quick trip the majority of the time. A lot of times these take anywhere from an hour for a local 911 call to a transfer, depending on where it's going and what time of day. We may get caught in traffic. That ambulance may be gone for 6 hours. And we can't control when the hospitals call and say, hey, we need to get this patient somewhere else. So with that, do y'all have any questions?
No.
Good job.
Okay.
Anybody's, do you have a motion to approve the EMS update as provided?
I so move. Second.
Motion made by precinct 2, second by precinct 1 to approve the EMS update as provided. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Next, item number 4, discuss and/or approve creating a 4th Lavaca County EMS crew and the timing and funding to implement said crew. You want to walk us through this?
Sure. So I submitted, I think you guys should have a copy of it. I submitted a letter for Commissioner's Court, and I'm going to go through and just highlight the few things on here, and you obviously ask me whatever you need to as we go on. But I talked, in the letter I asked about, or explained that since January 24, Lavaca County EMS has experienced status 0. A status 0, I think court has heard me talk about that before, but folks who don't know or who are listening in, is a situation in which no ambulances are available to respond to emergencies, okay? What does that mean? That means that all 3 ambulances that we have on staff right now are currently assigned to calls. Now, status 0s can last 3 minutes, they can last 30 minutes, they can last an hour. It just depends on where we're at to get that ambulance freed up. Just a quick example, maybe we have 2 911 calls, or maybe we have an ambulance that's on a transfer, taking a patient to Austin, okay, from, say, Lavaca Medical Center. And then all of a sudden we have 2 911 calls, 2 different parts of the county that drop within 5 minutes. That's a status 0. We have no ambulances available, okay? I do want to go, and this is just the next paragraph, we do work very well with our neighbors. I think we've done a really good job in breaking down some of those walls and those barriers. And just to name a few, Yoakum EMS, Gonzales EMS, Fayette County EMS, and Colorado County EMS, their mutual aid responses to us, we are very appreciative. We also return the favor to them almost on a weekly as well. Because again, I think this goes back to the relation of maybe more people are moving out here than what we realize, and busying the system a little bit more. In addition to these mutual aid requests, Lavaca EMS is also seeing a significant rise in both inter-facility transfers, which we have noticed an increased uptick from Yoakum Community Hospital as well as Lavaca Medical Center, added with the 911 emergency calls. So I did a couple of bullet points there. Inter-facility transfers. So we ran some numbers a couple of weeks ago and really sat down and dived in our report writing data to come up with some of this. And inter-facility transfers are projected to increase by 150 to 200 in 2025 compared to 2024, which would be a total of 450 to 500 transfers. That's not the 911 calls. That's just inter-facility moving patients around from facility to facility. Total call volume is projected to increase by 200 to 300 with 2025 totals, reaching anywhere from 2,400 to 2,500 calls for service. So rewind, let's just say 10 years ago. I don't have specific data from then, but I would assume that EMS was probably running about 900 to 1,000 calls a year, let's just say, okay? And now, here we go, we move throughout the years, and we continue to see up and up and up. This is no secret. You can turn on the news. It's just not us. It's Yoakum. It's Colorado County. It's Fayette County. Again, we're doing what we can do to help each other out as far as neighbors go as well, and they do the same for us. I talked in that next paragraph again about possible population growth. We hear it from our region, we hear it from each other, and we talk about it. Longer trips, higher mileage, extended out of service times. So I talked about that ambulance on average being out of service every time they get a call for an hour and 7 minutes, okay? That does not include the times where, again, we may take a patient to Austin or Houston, get caught in 5 o'clock traffic trying to get back home. There's also a thing towards the Houston area that we have to deal with, and we fight it almost daily, and it's called wall time. A wall time is when that ambulance gets to that hospital, okay, they have no available beds in the hospital, so you literally get put on the wall with your patient in the stretcher. You can't do anything until they receive the report. We could be there for an hour, 2. I've had a crew there so long before at Katie Herman that I've been able to leave my office, drive to Katie Herman, find the nurse in charge, and say, my guys are going back home. They said, we don't have any room. I don't care. My guys are going back home. That's how long that they can be there. So the other thing that challenges our service, just like the majority of our rural EMS services, is not the amount of calls. Okay? Not the amount of calls. It's the amount of time that each one takes. It's the amount of time it takes to go from one side of the county to the other. And it's just the out of service, we're busy. Our guys turn their patients as quickly as they possibly can. Victoria is really good about doing that, where we can get to Victoria and we would check out at the hospital within 20, 25 minutes. Our guys are checking back on the radio and they're heading back. But again, when you go to some of these bigger cities, I mean, they're inundated with patients and you just become a number at that point. So to meet the demand, we proposed the addition of 1 fully staffed ambulance, which will be based out of Hallettsville Station. The Hallettsville Station is the only station that we have 2 extra beds right now. We don't have any extra beds anywhere else at any other station. They would have to be here. So it would help with the call volume. It would help with what we call staging, where if the ambulances on the west side of the county, Moulton and Shiner, are busy, the ambulance from Hallettsville moves to the Weed area to stage and be in the middle of all the communities with a closer response time if they're requested. The cost to implement this project for the remainder of this fiscal year would be about $220,000. And that includes the hiring of 6 new employees, 3 paramedics and 3 EMTs to ensure that coverage. The cost also includes salaries, benefits, insurance, and payroll taxes. We do have the equipment to do this. We don't have to go out and buy more capital equipment. We have the ambulances, we have the stretchers, we have the monitors, we have the IV pumps, we have the ventilator, we have all that stuff. What we don't have is the people. And I just talked about those 2 extra bedrooms there in Hallettsville. Hallettsville being traditionally the busiest, region that we respond to in our county anyway. Almost double the amount of call volume on this side of the county that we have on the other side of the county. And again, we face that challenge, kind of like Hallettsville Fire Department does, where we have such a vast coverage area on this side of the county as well, where over there it's a little more condensed. So that's, in a nutshell, that's the presentation this morning. And if you guys have any questions, because I know you will to that, please ask away.
Great presentation. I said this is something we've been talking and discussing for several years now, the zero status. I think you wrote in there 160 times?
Yeah.
160 times zero status, 150 times zero status over a 16-month period. That's 150 times someone called for ambulance, it was not available. So that's not acceptable in here. And this is not something that, we can't ignore the growth. We can't ignore what's happening to our cities and county. So anyway, they will be cramped in the Medic 1 facility, correct?
Yeah, so what a lot of people probably don't realize either is that when a new EMT is going to school or a paramedic is going to school, in that school, they have to have clinical rotations, which they partner with us and they come to ride out with our agency, and they have to do a certain amount of hours. Now, when you get to the paramedic, they have this thing called capstone clinicals, and that's almost like a month worth of you hanging out with a paramedic every time he or she comes to work, and you're doing on-the-job training. This does put an issue with us with housing, because these are the last 2 available beds. Beforehand, the station had 2 big rooms that were each bedrooms. And Chief Decker and I, a few years ago, came to the realization that we needed extra rooms. So basically, we split those 2 big bedrooms down the middle, which gave us 4. And that was able to house new hired employees who are doing ride-outs or the students. This now negates that plan, and we're back to not having any more room. As we have three bedrooms in Shiner, and all 3 of those bedrooms are taken. We have 2 bedrooms in Moulton, those are taken.
Speaking of the Shiner facility, I do know, let me put things in perspective. I went to a ConocoPhillips meeting this week in Kennedy, Texas, and one of the things to put Lavaca County perspective, I told the group this. I said the desk that I sit in the judge's office dates back to 1890, and everything else follows suit in the county. Everything else has not changed much. Hallettsville needs a fire station. East Ellis is going to build a fire station. Shiner's trying to build a fire station. Moulton built a fire station. It's not complete. They need more money to build the fire station. The city of Moulton now wants to build a new police department. They'd like us to come in with that. They'd like us to have a constable office and JP office there. We've got a lot of things at stake, a lot of things growing that we can't ignore anymore. And one of these is our EMS department, I think. So I do think that this is my 2 cents, if we take the step this direction, it's in the right direction, and then we're going to probably look at having to build, Medic 1 station is old and antiquated, and EMS station, correct?
It's an odd space.
It's odd space.
We don't have, one of the biggest challenges we have, believe it or not, and the sheriff's office may have the same way, we don't have a proper room to train in. Like, we don't have a training room, and we train all the time. So we find ourselves moving our recliners or couches up against the wall and bringing in tables from outside and setting up a makeshift classroom, and then putting it all back as a living room when training's done.
So Medic 1 could definitely use an upgrade of facility, especially if we cram more people in there overnight stays. Medic 3 Shiner is maybe an opportunity to build a new station there at some point. I don't know. That's probably needed, because I think the fire department's moving out. The city wants the building back, is that?
Yeah, there's been talks that the city wants the building back for their public utility guys. That they're kind of maxed out on space where they're at as well.
So again, this is not really a discussion, but it's part of the whole overall scheme of what we're doing here, is that we've got to keep stepping forward and giving the tax base and the people that we serve what they need. So any other questions, comments?
Being that you have the equipment in a room, it's a good plan, I think,
Okay.
for future growth.
It gets steps in the right direction. Wayne, Edward, anything?
I would just say that I appreciate what you do. Public safety is paramount. I mean, it's probably the single most important thing that we do as a function of county government. And, you know, we have to provide for the needs, and this status zero and other, you know, increased activity in that arena, we have to plan for and provide for. So it's just a function that we'll have to find a way to bring to, you know, bring to
This-
fruition.
This, we had a meeting with the auditor's office, I think Friday it was, but this will require us to transfer some monies from general fund to the EMS fund for the duration of this year, $220,000 to make this happen immediately, if we decide to do this immediately, which I think there's the immediate need. And then next month, we're in the budget process anyway, planning for October 1st, but I think this gets us in the right direction. It's midstream, but I do think, I mean, we do have the reserve funding available, and that's what it's for, to help us grow and get in this direction, so. Any other questions? Go ahead.
I was just going to say one more thing, and then I'll be done with it. I've heard arguments on either side, right, of our very first primary job as emergency medical services, that's responding to 911 calls, right? And then the argument of it is, too, is patients going in between facility to facility. And the thing that I've always said, and I really truly believe it, as a person and as a resident here and born here, is that it doesn't give me any more pleasure than our ambulance taking you from one hospital to another, because that's the last thing that you see when you get dropped off in Austin, is a portion of your taxpayer money just dropped you off at your final destination. And I truly mean that when I say that, so.
Not final destination, you're gonna get.
Well, that sounds bad, I'm sorry. Not final
Make sure we're clear. We're trying.
we're not the first responders, we're the last responders. What's that?
At your desired designation.
Yeah, there you go. But it's the last piece of the puzzle when you go to where you need to go to get that treatment.
Yeah.
All right, do I hear a motion to make a motion on the timing and execution of this, and to add the funding? So do I hear a motion?
Also move.
Second.
Okay, and if I understand your motion, let me restate it. Motion by precinct 2, second by precinct 1, to approve creating a 4th Lavaca County EMS crew and implement this effective immediately, with funding, $220,000 of funding to come out of our general fund to cover this endeavor through the end of the fiscal year.
Yes, I so
Is
move.
that the way?
Oh, we have
Shana.
Yes. You want to
Just
fund numbers?
mention that it goes, the transfer goes from general fund to fund 121.
General fund
Okay.
to fund 121. Okay. All right.
Please make, that's your motion.
So I'll restate it. A motion is made by precinct 2, second by precinct 1, to approve creating a 4th Lavaca County EMS crew effective immediately, and to fund this new crew by transferring $220,000 from general fund to fund 121. That make sense?
Yes.
All right. Any other questions or comments? The only comment I will make is, we stated, again, we've been planning this behind the scenes to get to this point. You know, the EMS department still has discretionary control. They may feel that we have a time period they don't need to staff that crew for a weekend or for a day or whatever they might think. That's fine. They got discretion to call, to have that crew on or off. But I think the goal is to have 4 full-time crews 24/7 available in Lavaca County. Am I correct on that, Mr. President?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So I had a motion made by precinct 2, second by precinct 1. Any other comments or questions? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. That motion passes. Thank you, EMS department, for all that you do.
Thank you, gentlemen.
We look forward to watching you grow. All right, sorry, we're running long and late. Is Carol here? Oh, there she is. Okay. All right, we're going to skip to number 17, acknowledge the retirement of Carol Rogers for 12 years of dedicated service to the Lavaca County Tax Assessor Collector's Office. And her boss gets to come say a few words, hopefully, right?
Well, I do want to say one thing. I attest to what Michael first said, because my office is tremendously busy. Title transfers and registration are booming, so I can guarantee you this county is growing.
Thank you.
So with that being said, I'm Deborah Septic, your tax assessor collector, And I have the privilege of having Carol Rogers come up here on a sad note. She's retiring after 12 years of wonderful, dedicated service. She came over from the appraisal district back in the day when we started to collect our 6 cities our 3 cities and our 6 schools. She came over to the tax office and has been a tremendous asset to our office, done her job diligently, and has a great work ethic, and I'm so proud of her. We're going to miss her greatly. So, Carol, come up and get your plaque. Carol Rogers, Lavaca County Tax Assessor Collector Office, 12 years of service, 2013 through 2025.
Can we stand for a picture? Yeah.
One, two, three.
Thank you, Carol.
I also like to say that Carol has been, Carol has worked wonderfully with the auditor's office and the collection of taxes over the years and the audit reports that come to us, and we work well. We're going to miss you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Carol.
Thank you.
All right. The rest of the agenda is probably going to go a little faster. We're going to go back to number 5. Agenda item number 5, discussion and approve reopening Lavaca County Road 340 for overweight oil field traffic.
Yes,
Do I hear a motion? Or go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I have opened up this road before temporary, but being that Baytex Energy is already on the southwest end of it, the west end of that road, now because of TxDOT, they won't let them put an entrance on the east end, so they're coming in the east side of 340. So I'm gonna need to open it up for oil field traffic, all the way through. And Baytex is a good oil company to work with. They always reimburse us for road repairs. So with that being said, I make a motion to approve opening Lavaca County Road 340 for overweight oil field traffic. Second.
Have a motion by precinct 3, second by precinct 4 to approve reopening Lavaca County Road 340 for overweight oil field traffic. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Number 6, accept reimbursement for repairs to damaged county roads from Kinder Morgan to Lavaca County Precinct 2 Road and Bridge Account 302-4000-8266 in the amount of $234,000. Brought to you by Wayne Perkins.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Judge and Court. This is it is exactly what you see here. It's reimbursement. It is our ability to work within the confines of what we do in terms of using the roadways, which are a resource and an asset of the people. And it's my job to be sure that those are taken care of. And so what we did was negotiate with Kinder Morgan, enter into an agreement with them to reimburse the damages that they did to the road. And so we were able to take this and through some creative management, be able to pave and rebuild about 4 miles of road. So, so this, we've already done that. Their process is a little longer than ours, so for us to be able to recoup this is a big deal. This is going to allow me to build more roads. And so, short of public safety and emergency management, building roads is the top priority. So, I'm happy for us to be able to have these funds, secure these funds to build roadways. So,
Can I ask a quick question?
sure.
So, okay, you've already done work and this is reimbursing it, or is this money that you're getting to put on specific roads in your county?
We'll talk about that later. No, the work's been done.
We just need to know that.
No, the work's been done.
From a standpoint,
Right.
if this is a reimbursement like it says it is
Mhm.
here, that means that they're reimbursing you for work that you've already done.
Correct.
If a oil and gas company gives you money to put on a specific road, then you must do a measurement.
Yeah.
Right now, I would say we should just make you take it in that you've already spent.
Yeah, correct. That is correct.
This is basically a negotiated deal. I would say this, we've been working with Kinder Morgan, Wayne has for certain. Kinder Morgan's, I think they've been a good steward of, in Lavaca County. They admit when they, we saw their trucks, they damaged roads, okay, we'll pay for it, we'll fix it. And in some cases, they fix some roads or on their own, or they brought gravel or something, I don't remember.
And sometimes they will haul in their own material. But the road needed to be, the repairs needed to be done. It was continuing to incur damage, and it made sense for us. So part of the negotiation process, when you're dealing with a multi-billion-dollar company, their time frame is not the same as ours. And so it was important for us to go ahead and make the repairs of the road. So this is truly a reimbursement.
All right, so you have a motion to accept?
Yes, I so move.
Second.
Motion made by precinct 2, second by precinct 1, to accept the reimbursement for repairs to damaged county roads from Kinder Morgan to Lavaca County Precinct 2 Road and Bridge Account 302-4000-8266 in the amount of $234,000. Any other questions or comments? Well, I do want to say thank you again to Kinder Morgan. Y'all been very receptive to the needs of the community. Even with the sound barrier that went out in the Kaminsky plant, they took action. They said, we will put a sound barrier up and we want to take care of the people out there. So they've been good stewards as far as I'm concerned.
Yes.
Okay.
I concur with that statement as
All
well.
right. So motion made by precinct 2, second by precinct 1. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. All right, number 7, discuss and approve disposition of real property formerly known as County Road 391, consisting of a .22 acre tract of land located in Sweet Home. We've been discussing this for a couple of years. I think we're now
Yes.
ready to make a move.
Between the confusion and Mr. Reeves, I really want to thank him for helping out on this one. And a very old deed of the layout of Sweet Home. Basically, this is an easement between the Sweet Home Hall and the ball field that goes to the fence line. And that's all they want to do is get it off the county road and put it back in the tax deal. But we did have one thing. It's actually going to be 2 tracks. It's going to be the .22 acres, and right behind it is the .65, so that gives you 8/10 of an acre, and that'll knock out that complete easement between the hall and the baseball field. And just to say a thing, if anybody ever wanted that easement, they'd have to move center field in about 10 foot.
Yeah.
So that ball field been sitting on there a long time. So, with that being said, I'd like to make a motion to approve the disposition of real property formerly known as County Road 391D. That was another thing we had to look up. Consisting on a .22 acre tract of land located in Sweet Home and an additional .65 acre tract of land, and that'll complete the whole easement.
My question to the court, why was the .65 not on the agenda?
It's a separate deal. It was mine. I caught it over the weekend, looking at it. And I talked with Barbara about it.
Okay, because I remember it was on the agenda,
Yes.
and now it got back on this agenda with this .22.
Mr. Reeves, thank you so much. I asked for it off and then I asked for it back on.
That's what I'm saying. I think it's not on here. I think we can approve the .22, but I don't think we can approve the .65 because it's not on the agenda.
What do you think, Barbara?
I mean,
It's for the record. And I doubt anybody.
I think we need to table it and put it on next month, next
one?
next
I'll do
meeting.
that too.
Next meeting.
the whole thing, or can we do the .22? The .22 clearly
We
is,
can do the 2-2.
We'll do the 2 the front part, and we'll
Yeah.
come back and do the back part on the baseball field.
okay.
It was a little confusing, John.
Yeah, when I read the agenda, I was like, okay, we took the .65 off, because there was a question last court meeting about the .65, and now
Right.
it's off, so I was like, well, we took it off, so, okay.
So, okay,
So,
I'll
you wanna
change,
revise your motion?
I'll revise my motion to, approve the deposition of real property formerly known as County Road 391D, consisting of a .22 acre tract of land in Sweet Home.
Second.
Motion made by precinct 3, second by precinct 4, to approve the disposition of real property formerly known as County Road 391, consisting of a .22 acre tract of land located in Sweet Home. Just for the clarity of the court, you know, we've done this in Sweet Home. Sweet Home had a lot of easements through there that we didn't develop as roads.
They do.
People developed on it anyway. This puts it back via quitclaim deed, this puts it back on the tax rolls. So we have a motion by precinct 3, second by precinct 4. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. The motion passes. All right, now, again, if the .65 acres is to be the
Next.
same, would you
Yes.
bring it back?
So I have a question, are you going to sign the deed then, being that y'all just approved what is the quitclaim deed? Is it talking about the whole, or some of the real?
I have two separate ones on it. Yeah, that's what kind of got confusing at first too.
The one I have that we're approving today is just the .22 acres. Does-
I have a deed on the
The
.22
.6
and I have a deed on the .65. Yeah, we'll just run that. Yeah.
Right. All right, that motion passed.
Sorry for making that confusing.
All right, number 8, number 9, I've asked two commissioners to help me out with this. So number 8, discussion and approve proclamation declaring. Number 8, discussion and approve proclamation declaring the week of May 4th through May 10th, 2025 as National Correction Officers Week. That's found on page 5 and 6. Do we have a proclamation that one of you wants to run with? All right. Wayne?
Yes, I know.
Can I speak briefly?
Yeah,
Yes,
gentlemen?
sure. Absolutely.
Did you say briefly? Good morning, Commissioners, Judge. Lavaca County, I just, real quick, want to point something out before you speak on this proclamation. As of Friday, since we're speaking about the Correctional Officers Appreciation Week, I want to give you a quick demonstration of what our correctional officers at Lavaca County Jail are dealing with on a daily basis, actually daily and nightly. As of Friday, there were 37 inmates in Lavaca County Jail. 23 were in there on pretrial felons awaiting adjudication on those local felony cases. 6 are convicted felons awaiting transportation to TDCJ, Texas Department of Criminal Justice. 1 convicted felon awaited transfer to a treatment center. 3 convicted felons sentenced to time in county jail. 2 parole violators with no local charges. They have some hearings coming up in the future, and 2 parole violators with local charges are awaiting adjudication cases. So these are some pretty bad folks in the jail that, again, these jailers are dealing with day and night, coupled with mental health and intellectual disability issues. Recently, we did an inventory, a survey of the jail, and we informally determined that 40% of the jail capacity at that particular time had been diagnosed with mental health or intellectual disability issues. 30% were demonstrating acute mental health issues. So these are the individuals that our jail staff is providing the care, custody, and control 24/7, 365. So I just wanted, again, to come before the court to demonstrate to you that this is a very difficult job that these men and women have to do. They're outnumbered. They're, frankly, in my opinion, they're underpaid, underappreciated at times, and this proclamation goes a long way to demonstrate our appreciation and thankfulness to them for dealing with the individuals that, frankly, we don't want on the streets of Lavaca County. So thank you for your time.
You're welcome, thank you. Again, you said those numbers, James Reeves sitting in the back of the room, new county attorney, and myself, twice in 90 days, we read that jail roster and went over, no one can be released. These are felons that need to be there.
Absolutely.
So we're getting overcrowded. We're going to have to deal with that in the future. But thank you for correction officers. I see one in the back of the room. Ms. Dawn, thank you for all you do. Can't say it enough. Y'all put your lives on the line and inside that jail to keep those convicts locked up. So, all right.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Wayne.
So, as a result of the Congress, Senate Joint Resolution 132, they've declared May 4th through May 10th as National Correctional Officers Week, and there's a proclamation associated with that, which I read. Whereas correctional officers have the difficult and often dangerous assignment of ensuring the custody, safety, and well-being of the over 600,000 in our nation's prisons and jails, this position is essentially to the day-to-day operation of these institutions. Their position would not allow them to do that. It would be impossible to achieve the foremost institutional goals of security and control. Whereas historically, correctional officers have been viewed as guards, occupying isolated and misunderstood positions in prisons and jails. In recent years, the duties of these officers have become increasingly complex and demanding. They're called upon to fill simultaneously custodial, supervisory, and counseling roles. The professionalism, dedication, and courage exhibited by these officers throughout the performance of these demanding and often conflicting roles deserve our utmost respect. The important work of correctional officers often does not receive the recognition from the public it deserves. It is appropriate that we honor the many contributions and accomplishments of these men and women who are a vital component of the field of corrections. Whereas in recognition of the contributions of correctional officers to our nation, the Congress, by Senate Joint Resolution 132, has designated this week of May 4th through May 10th of 2025 as National Correctional Officers Week. Now therefore, we, the members of the Lavaca County Commissioners Court, do hereby proclaim the week beginning May 4th, 2025 as National Correctional Officers Week. We call upon the officials of the state and local governments and the people of the United States to observe this week with appropriate ceremonies and activities.
Thank you, Ms. Fairclough. Do I hear a motion?
Yes.
Motion made by Precinct 3, second by Precinct 1, to approve the proclamation declaring the week of May 4th through May 10th, 2025 as National Correctional Officers Week. Any questions or comments? The only thing I'll add is we're hiring in the jail, is that correct? We've got some
We
openings?
are hiring. We have some outstanding applications. In fact, we have a new jailer coming on, local town boy. He's coming on starting on the 5th. I think we've got another one on the heels of that. I don't mind saying we're quite selective when these applications, as we're vetting them, because again, this is a pretty challenging and arduous task to fill this position. So yes, we are, Judge, hiring.
And I commend you. I know y'all have had resumes in all places and you're vetting them hard.
Yes,
You
sir.
don't just, but what is starting pay?
47.
Starting pay, $47,000 full county benefits?
Yes, sir.
$47,000, and you're also eligible to further your career?
Correct. That
Some-
is correct. We have, we're continuing the process or the program of the previous administration whereby if you want to pursue a career in law enforcement, start out in the jail, which we think is an outstanding spot to begin that career. We haven't determined the time, year and a half or so in the jail, at which point you will be evaluated during the entirety of that time, and possibly then, if approved, you will go to an academy at the expense of Lavaca County, as well as being paid while you're there to come back and then serve your community for a designated period of time.
Gotcha. All right. We appreciate all you do back there, Don and Matt. I don't see Matt here today, but I'm sure he's at the jail.
He's in training.
He's in training. Oh, training, okay. All right, I had a motion made by Precinct 3, second by Precinct 1. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. That motion passes. Next, we have discussed and approve proclamation declaring the week of May 11th through May 17th, 2012 as National Police Week. Mr. Kenny Ziegel?
Yes, I will read the proclamation. Whereas the Congress and the President of the United States has designated May 15th as Peace Officers Memorial Day and the week in which May 15th falls as National Police Week. And whereas the members of the law enforcement agency of Lavaca County play an essential role in safeguarding the rights and freedoms of Lavaca County. And whereas it is important that all citizens know and understand the duties, responsibilities, hazards, and sacrifice of their law enforcement agency, and that members of our law enforcement agency recognizes their duty to serve the people by safeguarding life, property, by protecting them against violence and disorder, and by protecting the innocent against deception and the weak against oppression. And whereas the men and women of the law enforcement agency of Lavaca County unceasingly provide a vital public service. Now, therefore, we, the members of the Lavaca County Commissioners Court, call upon all citizens of Lavaca County and upon all patriotic, civic, and educational organizations to observe the week of May 11th through May 17th, 2025, as Police Week, with appropriate ceremonies and observances in which all of our people may join in commemorating law enforcement officers, past and present, who, by their faithful and loyal devotion to their responsibilities, have rendered a dedicated service to their communities, and in doing so have established for themselves an inviolable and enduring reputation for preserving the rights and securities of all citizens. We further call upon the citizens of Lavaca County to observe Thursday, May 15th, as Peace Officers Memorial Day in honor of those law enforcement officers who, through their courageous deeds, have made the ultimate sacrifice in service to their community or have become disabled in the performance of duty. And let us recognize and pay our respects to the survivors of our fallen heroes.
Thank you much. Do I hear a motion?
I make a motion to approve the proclamation. Second.
Motion made by precinct 4, second by precinct 3 to approve the proclamation declaring the week of May 11th to May 17th, 2025 as National Police Week. Any other questions or comments? Nope. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. That motion passes. Okay, I've got a special request. We're going to take a short recess, 5 minute. We're going to take a recess for 5 minutes. No, the judge can 5-minute recess. We are back in session, and we are now at agenda item number 10. Discuss and approve the awarded contract between the Lone Star Commissary and Lavaca County Jail. And our Mr. Sheriff, Stephen Greenwell, is here.
So I was just having a conversation at the break with Madam Auditor, and we were discussing this very item. So what we have decided to do is reinitiate this contract. In the past, it has been, we've been under contract with Lone Star Commissary for 5-year time periods. And best of my research, we've probably been, Lavaca County Sheriff's Office using Lone Star Commissary for the last, as many as 20 years. There are no complaints. Their customer service has been exemplary. Ms. Opela mentioned that the auditing side of it has been outstanding as well. I still would like to, frankly, do my due diligence and meet with the jail administrator, and we have, but more thoroughly to determine, to look at other proposals to determine whether or not we can find an equal or better service for an equal or lesser amount. We're just not there right now. So what we've done is opted to reinitiate this contract for a 1-year time period, to give ourselves some time to do some research, frankly, for myself to become more aware of the services provided and what we pay, et cetera, et cetera. So that's why we're requesting that we reinitiate this contract for another year.
Okay, perfectly understandable. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I heard a motion by precinct 4. I heard
Second.
I heard everyone second, but I'm gonna go with 3. Motion made by precinct 4, second by precinct 3, approve the awarded contract between Lone Star Commissary and the Lavaca County Jail. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. You have a comment?
Yeah, well, no, that's 1 year, right?
Yes, sir, 1 year.
Okay, all right. That motion passes. Number 11,
Thank you, gentlemen.
the thing we've all been waiting for. Number 11, discuss and approve Lavaca County fiscal year 2024 annual financial report presented by Wade Whitlow, KM&L Certified Public Accountants. Thank you, Mr. Wade, for being here today. And your patience sitting here today, too.
Not a problem, not a problem. Wade Whitlow, audit partner with KM&L. So we're in year 3 of performing this service for the county, and each year we have incrementally improved our timing and processes, and a big credit of that goes to Shana's office and all the departments that we go and visit. We're a little different in our approach, where we go through and walk through transactions of all the various departments, multiple different cash collection points, perform a lot of inquiry, all in an effort to understand the processes of the county. So not only Shana's office, but all the departments that we go and essentially bug while we're here, we're truly appreciative to, they take the time. We know we're a hindrance in their day-to-day, but they take a time and have been absolutely wonderful to work with, and that allows us to perform our service at an efficient pace. So a big thank you to everyone within the county. Within this report, we have 3 letters that we're issuing. Past the first blue tab, you'll see under the financial section, you'll see independent auditors report on the next page. So this is our opinion letter on the financial statements, and we're issuing an unmodified opinion. So that's a clean opinion. It lets the readers of the financial statements know that what they read subsequent to this letter is materially and factually correct. Within the financial statements this year, we did not have any new accounting standards that would alter, or no new accounting standards that affected the county that had to be implemented. So everything's comparable to the past couple years, so there was nothing new from that standpoint that I need to walk through with y'all. As it relates to a couple of the financial highlights, the general fund of the county is in a good place. It's in a good financial position. For a county of y'all size, in my opinion, it's in a neighborhood where there's adequate fund balance without excess being present. So I think it shows good fiscal responsibility by the court for where that fund balance is and tackling the challenges that are coming up, as heard a few this morning from Mr. Furr. So y'all are in a good position financially to tackle those challenges as they arise. So that's good, positive news there. There's a lot of budgetary information in here, not only for the general fund, but for some of the other funds, special revenue funds in there. We did not identify any reporting issues from a budgeting standpoint, so everything looked good from there as well. In the back of the report, there's a federal awards section. And there's 2 letters that we're issuing within here. The first letter is our report on internal control over financial reporting. So a part of that process where we test transactions and we visit all the various departments, walking through transactions, inquiry, all that's in an effort to understand the controls that are in place for the county. Now, through that understanding, if we identified any deficiencies in internal control that rose to the level of a significant deficiency or a material weakness, we would report that within this letter. We don't issue an opinion on the effectiveness of the controls, only if we identified any deficiencies. And I'm happy to report that we did not identify any deficiencies, so this is a clean letter that we're issuing. The third letter within this report is on the next page, and this is our opinion over compliance on major federal programs. So with the ARPA fund wrapping up last year, or the ARPA grant, excuse me, with that grant wrapping up, it still exceeded the threshold that required us to test for compliance related to that grant, so it triggered a compliance audit this year. With that being said, we issued an unmodified opinion on the ARPA grant, so we did not identify any issues from a compliance standpoint related to that. One thing of note, as you all continue to discuss the grant from the GLO, historically the county hasn't been subject to these compliance audits until the ARPA grant rolled around. Now with the discussions that are going to be held in the future, if the county exceeds, starting next year, $1 million of expenditures related to not only the GLO grant, it's looked at in the aggregate from federal funding sources. If y'all exceed that, y'all will be subject to one of these single audits. So I just wanted to, as y'all have those discussions, point out. So it'll be effective for the fiscal year on the county, September 30, 2025. So September year ends in 2025, they get the benefit of this increased threshold as it relates to how we evaluate, do we have to do a compliance audit or not? There's new standards coming out at the federal level as it relates to that under the uniform guidance. They're making some changes there. Under this audit, the threshold was $750,000. It'll be $1 million now. So if y'all have $1 million of federal awards expended within a fiscal year, the county's fiscal year, then y'all will be subject to that audit requirement. So I just wanted to make sure I pointed that out to the court today as y'all go through those discussions, and any other potential federal funding sources that y'all may receive or get awarded down the road.
Can I?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, go ahead. Yes. So, is that when that award was made, or when the funds were actually dispersed?
When, as far as that $1 million threshold, it's when they're spent, when they're expended. So even though there's an awarded, a grant awarded to the county, y'all may, depending on the red tape is what I would call it. Yeah. Y'all may not be able to spend anything for 6 months, you know. I've seen various cases.
2 years.
Oh, yeah, you have no idea what red tape we've.
Yeah.
So with that, even though you may have been awarded it, if y'all have not spent any of the award that was awarded to y'all, then that would not factor into that. Awards don't factor in, it's what you spend.
Okay.
And let's just say this, the grant we're talking about today at 1 o'clock is about 2.9 million collectively. I doubt it'll be spent in sequencers. It'll take several years to dispense that. So will that kick us in
Did you stay below the $1 million mark?
per year or per the whole grant?
The county's fiscal year, so each fiscal year for the county.
So we could be twice, have it twice. If it takes 2 years to spend $2.9 million and $1 million in each year, then you've got 2 audit years, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
And it's collectively, like all awards, so if you have a $500,000 federal
Well-
grant and another $500,000 federal grant, and you spend both all in 1 year, then you could.
So we've got the 2.9 kicking off today, and then we've got another grant coming for like 750. So,
But they're not gonna spend, we're not gonna spend 2.9 million between now and September
let's say you
31st.
Right.
Get it.
Potentially fiscal year '26, if that project kicks off,
Okay.
that might be the fiscal year that we would look at
Would it-
potentially having this.
Would it be the fiscal year or our budgetary year? Like from October 1 to September? End of
Yes, sir.
September?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
That's it, yes, sir.
it sounds like an auditor department issue primarily, correct?
It is, but you know, we've had these reports the past couple years, you know, our first year here, we had the CTIF money from the state that triggered a state single audit on top of the federal single audit, so it's something that y'all, historically, the county hasn't seen on a regular basis, so now that the ARPA grant wrapped up, if we had this audit requirement pop up again, that's why I wanted to make sure that I communicated this to y'all, that this requirement may come up again. It's dependent on how the projects go and how they're spent down and the reimbursements and things of that nature.
Gotcha.
So basically what you're saying then is that that single item would be audited, right?
Yeah, so in the interest of time, I don't want to bore y'all with the semantics of how
Right.
the selection of major programs works, but I'd be happy to discuss that with you in the future. But with that award amount of 2.9, once that project kicks off and gets going, if it exceeds a certain threshold, $1 million, then we would be required to audit that program.
Okay.
And like I said, I'd be more than happy to walk through with you how that process,
So basically, I'll be sure I understand, Wade, what you're saying, because what I hear you saying is that you're going to separate that part of the budget from the rest of the budget, and you're gonna audit it separately. Is that what you're saying?
yeah, just from a compliance standpoint.
Okay.
Now, within that grant, we're still auditing the accounting behind that grant.
Right. I understand.
This additional audit requirement that I'm talking about is if we're required to perform that audit as the uniform guidance states, then we have to follow the uniform guidance and perform this audit in accordance with that, on top of the financial statement audit too. So it's just an added requirement. The accounting for it's going to be audited regardless.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right. Anything else?
Yes, sir, I'm good.
Well, thank you for the audit, and I think the best thing I can describe is our auditor has a no button, she uses it, so that helps us quite a bit. But, I mean, this county has had stellar audits going forward for a long time, and thank you, Shana, and your team for handling our finances. So, thank you.
And Judge, I do notice in the back where it says, the corrective actions or anything that needs to be addressed regarding that, the finding says none in multiple spots, which that's good news.
Yep.
Really good news. That means you're doing a great job.
get her a button that says, yes, we can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, or yes, we can.
It's being done for him.
She might take the battery out, but
All right, thank you, Wade, for your auditing,
yes, sir.
team. We appreciate you.
Thank y'all, and if, as y'all go through this, any questions pop up, please feel free to call me. Be happy to discuss with y'all further.
Thank you. So
Thank you.
if the court asks you to come back, you're welcome, you're willing to come back
Yes, sir.
for a nominal fee?
Yeah, just let me know.
Can we write that on?
Thank you, Wade, appreciate it. All right, do I have a motion
Your
to,
Honor, I move we approve
approve. I heard one first.
Lavaca County fiscal year budget 2024 annual financial report presented by Wade Whitlow, KML, certified public accountant.
Motion made by precinct one,
Second.
second by precinct two, to approve the Lavaca County fiscal year 2024 annual financial report presented by Wade Whitlow of KML Certified Public Accountants. Have any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. That motion passes. All right, number 12, discuss and approve bond for Rachel Barber, investigator for the Lavaca County Attorney's Office. Do I hear a motion?
Yes,
I heard four
yes,
and one. Motion made by precinct four, second by precinct one, to approve the bond for Rachel Barber, investigator for the Lavaca County Attorney's Office. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Number 13, discuss and approve advertising for bids to replace the boiler for Lavaca County Courthouse. That's found on page 48. We had one quote of like $50-something thousand to replace that boiler, so I said, slow down. We need to go find some options. Page 48, right? I think I can't find it. So the pages I'm behind on. All right. Part of that bid, let's see. Sealed bids must be plainly marked and received by Shana R. Opie, Lavaca Auditor at 109 North LaGrange Street, Houseville, Texas, 77964, until 10:38 a.m. on Wednesday, May 14th, 2025, for the purchase of the following items, and it was to replace the boiler in the Lavaca County Courthouse. Do I hear a motion?
Yes, Your Honor, I move that we approve advertising for bids to replace the boiler for Lavaca County Courthouse.
second,
Motion made by precinct two, second by precinct one, to approve advertising for bids to replace the boiler for the Lavaca County Courthouse. Any other questions or comments? We've been waiting on this. We did have a cold day. That boiler was not working, so I apologize that in the courthouse, but we've been kind of waiting now. But we get some warmer weather, now it's time to make that change. So, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. The motion passes. We'll go out for bids. Number 14, discuss and approve advertising for bids for concrete and labor projects in Lavaca County roads in precinct 1, 2, and 3.
Your Honor, I
Down on
recommend
page
that
49.
we approve advertising for bids for concrete and labor projects for Lavaca County roads in precinct 1, 2, and 3.
Second.
Motion made by precinct 2, second by precinct 3, to approve advertising for bids for concrete and labor projects for Lavaca County roads in precincts 1, 2, and 3. One thing I will add is sealed bids, plainly marked, will be received by Shana R. Opiella, Lavaca County Auditor at 109 North LaGrange Street, Houseville, Texas, 77964, until 10:30 a.m. on Wednesday, May 14th, 2025. And that's for concrete and labor in those precincts, and you can contact the judge's office for more information. Any other questions or comments?
Yeah, I'm reading it
Is there a comment? He's reading it.
Okay. It's
No
good.
comments?
No problem.
All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same signs. Motion passes. We will go out for bids for concrete and labor in precincts 1, 2, and 3. Item number 15, discuss and approve certificate of exemption from subdivision requirements for Gilbert Henneke. That's found on page, out of precinct 1. It says find at your bench, and it's right here, marked item number 15.
yes, Gilbert Henneke has some property on US Highway 77, 7 acres. He's selling 2 of those acres to his neighbor who also is on US Highway 77. So with that, Lavaca County, we will extend to him an exemption from our subdivisions regulations.
Okay. Motion made by precinct 1,
Second?
second by precinct 2. Motion made by precinct 1, second by precinct 2, to approve the certificate of exemption from subdivision requirements for Gilbert Henneke. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Number 16, discuss and approve the realignment of Lavaca County Volunteer Fire Department's coverage map to include the new fire district for the Eazell Volunteer Fire Department. And with that, we have Assistant Fire Chief, Mr. Brad Wood. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
They still call you chief? Okay.
Right now. Judge, Commissioners, we've come a long way on this in a short period of time. When we first started this, a lot of people told us it was going to take 2 or 3 years before we'd be fighting fires. Our first meeting was November 4th, and now we actually were on the precipice of fighting fires. So the reason I'm here today is to get y'all, each one of you should have a map in front of you. This little pink area right below Hallettsville's main area. It's going to be this one right down here. Gentlemen.
Okay.
That is our fire district through the Golden Crescent Regional Planning Commission. Right now, it's just in pencil, so to speak, right now. But Donna Berger is doing the 911 work on all those roads to give us that fire district.
Okay.
As soon as that fire district is completed, we'll be able to fight fires. I know it kind of seems like we're putting the cart before the horse here, but you can't get equipment until you have a fire district, and you can't get a fire district until you have equipment. So, having said that, we need to get this fire district through Golden Crescent so that we have a truck right now. It's from Full Share Simonton Fire Department. It's earmarked for us. It's a 2005 Spartan Gladiator engine, 1,000 gallons. Is it ideal for what we need out there? No. Most of our calls in the first couple of years after we stand this up are going to be mutual aid calls, meaning Yoakum, Sweet Home, Hallettsville are going to come when we're called, just because we're not tried and true yet. Right. Once we step above the mutual aid stage of this process, then we're already going to have brush trucks and all the equipment that we need. This Spartan Gladiator apparatus also has SCBAs, which are self-contained breathing apparatuses, hoses, and some hand tools. So these are all things that we're going to have to pick up along the way. I say that to say this. If we can get this truck, then we can move forward on some of the other grants and things that we've been offered. But if you don't have a fire district, you can't get these grants. So that's why I'm standing before you today to just let you know where we're at and what's happening, and any help that you all could give would be greatly appreciated.
Well, we appreciate your effort in all this. I know the Fire Chiefs Association, the Lavaca County Fire Association approves this map. Just to put things in perspective, the bottom pink is, as Chief Wood said, Hallettsville Volunteer Fire Department is giving up their territory to the south. The green that encroaches down below is still Yoakum.
Yes, sir.
They've still got a faster response from Yoakum to that area. That's why we're going to leave that intact. The name of the game now is mutual aid, and for certain, as Chief Wood said, all fire departments are going to give that mutual aid. Anytime Eazell is called, they're coming with them until, like you said, until they're tried and true and proven. And it's a great brotherhood of sorts to see these fire departments come together and look out for each other and help y'all form. And I think this is the first fire department in 125 years. Did we
Something
determine
like
that?
that. Yes, sir.
First fire department in Lavaca County to form in 125 years. So again, we're behind the times, and thank you for you're kicking us out. Eazell's doing a lot of good things down there, so we appreciate your work on this. we're kind of pressed for time, so I think I'm gonna ask for a motion to approve. Do we have here a motion to approve this map?
I'll make a motion to approve. I'll second that.
Okay, motion by precinct 4, second by precinct 3 to approve the realignment of Lavaca County Volunteer Fire Department's coverage map to include the new fire district for the Eazell Volunteer Fire Department. Any other questions or comments?
Chief Wood, thanks for your dedication to getting this done.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you all.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. That fire district has been created. Thank you, Brad. And again, there could be some more maps coming with more finalities, but we have approved this map as it's laid out. Okay. All right, skipping number 17, number 18, acknowledge the hiring of Miranda Shimmick Ramirez as Deputy Clerk for the Lavaca County Tax Assessor Collector's Office with a starting date of May 5th, 2025. Do we hear a motion?
Yes.
Second.
Motion made by precinct 1, second by precinct 2, to acknowledge the hiring of Miranda Shimmick Ramirez as Deputy Clerk for the Lavaca County Tax Assessor's Collector's Office, starting date of May 5th, 2025. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Yes.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. All right, number 19, discuss and approve internet contract between AT&T and Lavaca County. Mike Wick is here to kind of say what's going on with that while he's walking up here. In short, we need to up our speeds for certain at the sheriff's office, annex office as well, and courthouse. So you want to speak on that?
Good morning, Michael with Lavaca County IT. We are working with AT&T to basically, we have two contracts that are up this year. We need to renew. We're moving the speeds from 50 meg to 250 at the annex and the sheriff's office. That's what we're asking for y'all to approve
And the
today.
courthouse is going to follow a little bit later because we're going to.
Courthouse is still until 2026 of August, so we're going to wait till that contract is fully up before we join that to this one.
And the reason for waiting is because we would be breaking a contract and it costs us more to break it than just to service a contract.
To break a contract, you have to pay half of the remaining balance of that service, so.
Do you hear a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion made by precinct 3, second by precinct 4 to approve the internet contract between AT&T and Lavaca County. Questions?
Yes,
Go ahead.
yes, just looking at the nuts and bolts of the contract here, this is going to provide us the services that we need at the speed that we need, and it will be basically a major upgrade over where we are now.
Correct. Right now, we're having a few troubles even making a phone call from office to office at the sheriff's office. This will help with the internet speeds to increase that, and not only for now, but also for the future as well. So that's one thing that we were choosing to go to 254, so we don't have to readdress this in a year or two.
Michael, is there any discussion of the phone system going VoIP?
It is VoIP already.
It is VoIP already?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So when you make a phone call from one office, you go actually out to the cloud and then back down to that other office. So you're taking 2 paths of internet there. That's what also decreased the internet speeds to those services, basically.
Is that all the facilities?
Correct.
All the facilities are doing that?
Correct.
Okay, all right.
Do we still have some, maybe, like a few JP offices that don't have voice over IP, or are we all?
We do have a few that are still on the analog
Landline.
system, the old analog dial, and so eventually we are working on moving those as well. Also fax lines too, we're looking to move it to IP base as well too. It'll be a cost effective as well.
Again, I think the theme of the 2025 Commissioners Court collectively is to we're getting into the future and getting out of the old ways, but
Moving up.
we've got a lot of growing pains to make, and this is getting us in the right direction. Not divulging much of our security plan, but some of this internet speed requires, is our security plan is attached to it. All right, do I hear, I had a motion for precinct 3, second by precinct 4. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes.
Thank you all, gentlemen.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Wick.
Thank you, Mike.
Number 20, discuss and approve road plan and paving updates. Do we have anything to update?
We have an update. We were supposed to have a walk-around, go-over machinery with the R.B. Everett company who we bought the machines from Wednesday, and Thursday, we're going to go to the road and reseal the road. Those plans have changed. We have to put it off till next week. We have a better chance of rain Wednesday and Thursday than any this week, and we do not want to order a truckload of oil and have to pay for it and not get anything out of it on Wednesday and Thursday if it rains. So
Okay.
we're well on our way.
And personnel-wise, we're still talking about personnel?
We have to come up with a plan, and I think with your help, we can pick a couple of people who maybe have to up their stipend a bit to give them a little more responsibility with the machines. So we'll have to check that out.
I think that would be up for court discussion, especially on my end. I do believe if you're going to put someone in charge of $1 million or more worth of equipment, they should be compensated to take care of that $1 million, especially if it's maintenance related.
I'll agree.
But that's up for discussion, especially if you're going to dedicate, hey, you may, the court can create that position, as well as saying, hey, you're the supervisor for the paving committee, paving crew and the machines that go with it. But again, we don't have that on our agenda necessarily to
Nope.
approve that, but I just wanted, we could talk about it.
Correct.
All right. So, all right, nothing to approve on the, anything else on the paving?
No,
committee?
sir.
All right. Dennis, awful quiet down there right now. All right, number 21, discussion and approve the elections office remodel project at the annex. I'd like the court's approval on this. We've been discussing this probably, I don't think I've got approval. The elections room where we have our early elections, we want to remove Brandy's office. Where Brandy sits, we're going to remove that office and make the election room bigger. We want to move Brandy back to the office that Amy used to occupy. Okay, right now no one's occupying the office, so we're going to move Brandy back to that. Gut that whole building so the elections room will be bigger, and that's going to be a multi-purpose room. So we could use it for a fourth courtroom, you could use it for a training room, there's all kinds of things you could use it for. And then the front closet space, we're going to turn that into an office space, and that's where Tina would sit. So Tina and Brandy would have offices side by side, probably have glass windows so you could walk by there and you could see that they're in the offices in the elections room. So we're going to try to do most of this in-house if we can. I think we've, just so to cut costs where we can. So Chris is almost through with the subway building, and he'll start working on, hopefully not for 5 years, but hopefully he'll start working on that. So do I hear an approval to make those changes?
I'll make that motion to approve it.
Okay.
Second.
Motion made by precinct 3, second by precinct 1, to approve the elections office remodel project at the annex, and we're going to try to do it in-house with our own maintenance, internal maintenance funds. There may be we may have to go out for bids for flooring or something at some point, but anyway. Motion made by precinct 3, second by precinct 1. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Again, this has been about 2 years. The elections committee, made up of your two-party chairs, Barbara, Deborah, and myself, also recommended this as well. Okay, number 22, discuss and approve the Reininger, I'm not sure how we say that. Discuss and approve the Ringer, not Ringer, but R-E-I-N-G-E-R, Family Living Trust subdivision application, including their subdivision private road use agreement.
We still have some questions about that, Judge.
So do I, okay.
We're not going to approve anything today. We need to table that.
Okay.
I move that we table it.
Okay. Motion made to table. Second by precinct 2. Motion by precinct 1, second by precinct 2 to table approving the R-E-I-N-G-E-R. How do you pronounce it?
Reininger.
Reininger?
Reininger.
The Reininger Family Living Trust subdivision application, including their subdivision private road use agreement. I will say this, I think Nadine and I were working on this Thursday or Friday. We did reach out to Bob Bass. Bob's got to have some time to digest the material that we've given him. We have not heard back yet.
That one.
And the question at hand is, in a subdivision like this, they're clearly dividing up 7 tracts, large acres, with a road in between. They have a road use agreement, but should they be HOA, should it be a little bit more different? They intend on selling
We
those
need
tracts.
something else from a little more,
A little bit more teeth.
Yes, I want a little better explanation about that road. That is not a county designated road.
Correct, it's not a county designated road. Okay, so we need a little bit more time to do some research and find the right solution on this one.
If I'm looking right, this whole thing goes from 128 acres down to 26 acres?
Yes.
It's
That-
341 or 340.
Yeah, it is.
Here's the,
You're right.
Yes.
here's the biggest issue, and again, Jesse came and met with me and Edward. Jesse Allen is the attorney, and they've got the road going through this land. They fully intend to sell all those tracks, and you know what's gonna happen, people are gonna buy them tracks to further subdivide. And Jesse, like Mr. Allen said, he said, well, y'all could always say no to that. Well, we can say no to this too. So we need to slow down and find out what's gonna happen out there, so we fully digest the potential subdivision and water issue and drainage issue, whatever else comes out there. I know we have drainage issues out there in that neck of the woods. All right, I had a motion by precinct 1, second by precinct 2 to table. All those in favor of tabling, say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes to table. All right, number 23, do I have a motion to move into consent?
I make that motion to go on the consent agenda.
Second. Motion made by precinct 3, second by precinct 4 to approve the consent agenda by one motion, second, and vote. All those in favor of moving into consent, say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. We are in consent. Our microphones will go off until we're out. All right, the court is back out of it, consent agenda. Next item we have is number 24, announce the next meeting and adjourn. We will meet, well, we're going to meet here at 1 o'clock, so about 45 minutes from now, we're meeting again just for a workshop. No decisions will be made collectively. Each commissioner can make a decision in that meeting on their own, for their own precinct. Next meeting will be May 12th, 2025. I should say, next scheduled Commissioners Court meeting, May 12th, 2025 at 10 a.m. With that, do I have, anything else you want to say? If not, motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by precinct 4, second by precinct 2 to adjourn. All those in favor of adjourning, say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank y'all. We'll see y'all in about 45 minutes.